Hey guys, it is the D.D.N.O system, and we seem to be undergoing a fusion of all our alters, and we said we would keep you in the loop as to the process and what we're going through. So let's talk about it. So since our last video, this definitely seems more and more to be like, yes, this is what we're experiencing. Our therapist has encouraged us to expect that it not stay, but kind of come apart and go back together, which is what other people in the community that we've talked to have experienced. So one of our friends in the community has called it fluidly plural or fluidly multiple, and that's been their experience, where they are usually fused, but occasionally there is a separation for a time being. I've also read in my studies of the rabbit trails. I don't know how else y'all do, but like read a study, read a thing, read a post. In our rabbit trailing on the subject, what we have found is that it seems to indicate that future difficulties or trauma can also cause this to come undone. But that usually isn't permanent. So very much like my therapist is telling us to expect. So other things that we've been experiencing. We have had more recovered memories of stuff that happened during like our elementary school years, which we think probably were an aspect of one of the alters, Dandelion, who we never connected with deeply. She didn't want to front a lot, and I think these are probably just memories that she had been holding. So we've noticed a lot less dissociation, very minimal triggers, and no amnesia that we've noticed. So in 6 weeks, we've lost no time or information that we've been able to tell, and that's been huge. The maintaining of information has been very nice, and we didn't have a lot of amnesia before, but it's definitely been a bonus. So one of the things we've noticed is a higher touch sensitivity, which we've always been a little touch sensitive before, but now we have a lower threshold for like, okay, that's enough touch, which we expect is coming to us from the likes of J.A., honestly. We've also had more feelings of ownership of things. So where this was distinctly a particular alters, now it feels like it's just, ours. And ours is mine, and I am we, and like pronouns have been super slippy. We are very fluid in and out of I and we, and me and my, and that sort of thing. But there's been a lot more things that were specific alter and like very much just theirs, feel like it's like, well, this is also mine because it's mine because. So anyway, things that were specifically like this just stayed in our bedroom. It's now in our office, and we've really been enjoying toting it around. So things like that have been different. Dreams, we've been having frequent, several times a week, we will dream of a group of people doing a thing, and we're like, well, this is clearly us, except the group has been getting larger. So it started off with a group of, like a handful. We fit in a room, and the group has slowly contained more and more to now it seems like it's like, I don't know, last time was like at least 24 in this group that we were dreaming about. And so our thought is that this is parts that we were unaware of, have not met, that sort of thing, continuing to come into the whole. And then finally, this continues to be a positive experience for us. We will keep you updated of the ups and downs of it, but we just came through, actually we're still kind of in our high trigger season, usually lasts until February, and doing so much better than we normally do this time of year. Like it's really nice to just be able to enjoy without like PTSD just like clobbering you to the floor and you can't breathe and you feel awful and you don't know, you know, those symptoms. Like that's normally from Thanksgiving to February for us. And we've had 2 or 3 days of that. And they were all post-Christmas, which is huge for us. We continue to feel very much like a fullness and a presence of everyone. So not like everyone collapsed into Jenna. Like that is not what it feels like. But it feels like we went through this season of blendiness, like water spiraling down a drain tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter until you only see one strain, like one stream, but it doesn't mean that it's not all those molecules as they always were, just getting closer and closer until you don't see the vortex anymore, just the single stream. Someone was like, oh, it's like a rainbow. Yes, it's like a rainbow. Like all these colors were separate and they were their own thing separate, and now they're a rainbow and their own thing is a rainbow. For us, it feels a little less, it felt when we made our last video still very much like experimental, like the system was holding its breath, like, okay, is this gonna work for us? And the longer it's been, the more it feels more settled. Like, okay, this looks like it's gonna work for us. It gave me a lot of peace because as we were going through the early days, it felt like if this doesn't work, we will undo it, with like the feeling. So it was like, okay, this is new, this is okay, but if it doesn't work, we will undo it because we were good before, like we were fine. So if this isn't healthy for us, we'll just go back. And so that was a lot of peace that was needed in the transition, but it's proved to be beneficial for us. And I do want to say, I really think, having gone through this experience, that pushing fusion on systems is not a good idea. With the coming together, had we come together without having processed the traumas we had processed, without alters making relationship and peace with one another, if we hadn't done all of this work before this experience, it would have brought all of that together in the mix. So the alters who had ideation, that ideation would then be in all of us. The alters that had beef with each other, that with yourself, like, because then it's all together, would be in all, there would be this, I can't know, like struggle with self, and especially with trauma processing, because for sure, now that we're all together holding, sharing, and accessing, if we hadn't already worked through processing these things, the unprocessed feelings would be in the whole mix, and I think it would be absolutely detrimental. So on where we are right now, we're very much anti that being pushed on systems. Like, it's okay if that's a system's goal, but like something that's part of a process, not something that's pushed, not something that's forced. And we really do think not something that has to happen for a system to be healthy or happy. We were both. We were healthy, we were happy, we were cooperating with each other. And so we want to document our process while very firmly saying that for some systems, we don't think that this process would be a good thing. For some systems at the point where they're at, we don't think this process would be a good thing. So, well, for us, this has been largely positive. It's not something to be like, well, it was positive for them, so we're just gonna like push this for our system. So we hope all of that makes sense. Feel free, please, to ask questions, and we will try and address those as we go along. We'll catch you later. what this has been looking like. There's little tippy-tappy dog paws in the background. Please excuse them. I'm not bothered at all by it. I'm not totally gonna restart this. Not at all. Take two. So since our last dogs today, since our last update, this definite, it's fine, I'm fine. Not distracted at all. That's the second dog going up. Watch her come back. Okay, anyway. Okay, so it snowed and they want to go play in the snow, but it's turned to ice and the dogs are staying in anyway. So that's definitely a dog that wants to go O-U-T to P-L-A-Y anyway. No, leave my rocks alone. Okay. This is going to be the longest draft, and it's all going to be like edits. Okay. It's fine. Oh, she's laying down. Nice. So loss of time or so we've had a lot less dissociation, and my God, I'm dying. The door is open because otherwise it echoes, and otherwise they make noise on the other side of the door. So I can get through a video. It's totally fine. This is just my current state of being. It will always be my state of being until it is no longer my state of being. Anyway, touching us than we were before. She's chasing her tail. Still chasing her tail. So one of the things we've look at these little angels, like they weren't just absolutely the most distracting things until we went out. We did. We went out and now they're tuckered, but I am too. So I'll sit in my chair and do some editing on all these outtakes.